we grew up basically within a mile of the nuclear power plant, and it's like, well, what about that very inner ring? And they're like, yeah, no real plans.
What's up, guys? Matt with Prairie State Tractor, and today we're out on the road in northern Illinois with Circle G Farms. This is Chad right here to get a feel for what technology he's using in his John Deere tractor as he's doing a little side dress application. We're going to get some thoughts from Chad here about AutoPath and other technology he's using, and show you guys how it all works. Chad, you want to tell them a little bit about your operation here, maybe a little bit of a background?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the third generation on our family farm, third active generation. I farm with my father, my uncle, my great uncle, and my grandfather. We're just outside of Oregon, Illinois, feed beef cattle, raise corn, beans, wheat, and hay. Today we're side dressing anhydrous ammonia at V2. We're utilizing AutoPath guidance lines that we created with the planter and the spring, as well as camera mounted up on the front of the roof of the cab, looking down at the rows and keeping us in between the rows and off the rows. It's working pretty well so far. At 7.5 miles an hour, really hasn't had any trouble holding the line, and kind of keeping the workflow management on the operator pretty low. No need to shift or a lot of steering or anything else.
Are you new to AutoPath, or have you been using it a while?
No, we've been using AutoPath for a while, but this is my first experience with Vision Sense. We've had it on our Haggie, and my uncle does all of our spraying, and he runs the Haggie, but we've never had it on a tractor before. So
okay.
Yeah, it's been a good experience.
Good initial reviews on it?
Yeah, it is. I think I don't know this for sure, but I think one of the positive points of it as well is if you didn't have AutoPath or RTK level guidance, I think SF1 or SF2 paired with the Vision Sense would probably do as good a job as RTK with AutoPath. We're using both, the AutoPath to kind of help pull us in the next land, and then once we get in those in the rows, that's when Row Sense takes over.
So AutoPath is a little bit of it's been around a few years now.
Yep.
But could you talk through a little bit about how you utilize AutoPath and any benefits you've seen to your operation as a result of using AutoPath?
Yeah, so we use AutoPath lines created from the planter in the spring, and then we'll use it throughout the season as we're side dressing, spraying post-emerge with a John Deere Haggie, and then when we spray fungicide with a Haggie, and then where it comes in really useful is as we're harvesting as well. No more, trying to bring in straight track lines or guidance lines. It's all flowing straight in from the planter. And then when we're chopping earlage in the fall and picking corn in the fall, it's really made things a lot easier. There's no more one row of shame that you find at the end of a big land or anything like that. Yeah. Really been helpful.
So that's kind of where completing a pass here. Can you kind of show us what's going on the screen?
Yep, so right now AutoPath is pulling us into our next pass, and the camera is searching for its next set of rows to grab a hold of. We're just setting the implement down, getting started, and grab AutoTrac. And then we start kind of throttling up from the headland a little bit. And the camera's reading rows on the either side of center of the tractor. I have a slight nudge to the right, just from, seems like my toolbar wants to be a little bit to the right of center to stay in the middle of the rows. And as we kind of go up that hill and get smoothed out, we kick her up to about 7.3 mile an hour, and does a nice job holding the line. So right now, currently, the AutoPath line is more for just pulling us into. Our rate controller's letting us know we're about out of ammonia. But the AutoPath line is pulling us into our next pass, and then once we get into it, then the camera takes over, and it's sensing where the rows are and keeping us in the middle of that. We are gonna go up to that gate and switch tanks.
I still can't get over the scenery over there with the nuclear power plant. You probably never even noticed it though, just sitting over there.
Now, growing up with it, you really don't. It's funny, in elementary school though, I do remember they always had like, you know, if a disaster would happen and you live in this ring, you do this. If you are in this ring, you do this. And we grew up basically within a mile of the nuclear power plant, and it's like, well, what about that very inner ring? And they're like, yeah, no real plans for it.
They actually gave you like preparedness classes at school?
It was yeah. When we were in elementary school, there was like, if the wind is this direction, you know, evacuations happen this way, and I don't know if they still do that or not.
It's like some Fallout.
Yeah, legitimately. And I don't know if like kids today still get that or not, but
it's crazy.
I better give Corey a hand. I'm gonna jump out real quick.
So you've never run the CommandPro or the EVT transmission that's part of this tractor?
Yep, correct. First time with both the EVT and the CommandPro. The EVT's been amazing. I've never once felt like that I've run out of power. Honestly, if anything, it's just slippage. Like if I can't get the power to the ground, and I mean, an 8RX would solve that, right? Just
there you go. There you go. We'll go talk to Corey about that.
But no, and it's so smooth. I mean, the E23 transmission, we always thought was a huge improvement over power shift, but we missed our IVTs, you know, when we went from like a 370 horse up to a 410, and the ability to put an EVT trans in a 410 horse tractors, that's pretty exciting. I think that's something on our next time around we're gonna have to look at.
So good impression so far.
Yeah, the transmission I think is almost like a mandatory for our next tractors. The CommandPro we're probably going to have to hold off of just because we do a lot of slip seating in the fall with the grain cart, and I think CommandPro would be a little tough maybe for someone that doesn't have a lot of experience with a tractor, but I love it for, you know, what we're doing out here. I think having all the command and the functions at your fingertips, and programmably so, is really handy. But man, if it was like a father-son or something like that, where one guy's planting and running the grain cart or something like that all fall, and it's just a couple of guys in it, you know, I could see how handy that'd be. The EVT is just quiet, smooth, and it seems like your power response is a little more instantaneous than the IVT, where it felt like things had to almost kind of spool up before you really got, you know, the power you needed.
Came here for an AutoPath review, now I'm getting an EVT review. Chad, thanks for your time. It's nice seeing you, and see you around next time.
You as well, Matt. Yeah. Thanks.